Limit Break TCG. Haven't forgot about you with Pokemon, man. Got a deck profile coming for you with a Centiscorch VMAX. Let's dive into it. Love this deck, by the way. I wanted to build it for a long time. Back when I only had money for the Battle League deck for ADP to be good. Finally, I got a little bit of money. I think when the first stimulus check hit, I used like $40 of it to get the stuff for this, and then I ended up selling some cards to make the money back, so I kind of just reimbursed myself. But I built this deck. I really enjoy it. It's consistent, and let's dive into the cards of it. You know, we got 4 Centiscorch VMAX. I mean, 3. I'm sorry. 3 Centiscorch VMAX, 2 Centiscorch Vs. So going from the VMAX to the Vs, 320 HP. For 2 colorless, this tag does 40 damage for each fire energy attached to this Oh my gosh, I cannot read. Sorry. This attack does 40 more damage for each fire energy attached to this Pokemon. If you did any damage with this attack, you may attach a fire energy card from your discard pile to this Pokemon. So it does 40 already off the back. If both of these energies are fire, it does 40 plus 40 plus the initial 40. So already for cost, this is already going to do 120 damage. And then you add a fire energy from the trash, that drop area. You add it to it, so now it'll have a third fire energy. If you're using this attack for cost, you'll get a third energy. And each turn, you're adding energy each time you do damage. So you can get this attack up to 320 hits per hit real quick, especially with cards like Welder. Centiscorch V has 210 HP. Radiating heat for 1 fire energy does 20 damage. You may discard an energy from this Pokemon. If you do, discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. So it's a lot of energy, energy killing, I guess you could call it. And the radiating heat, you don't mind if you're discarding energy, because you're just gonna feel getting them back with this. And then its second effect for 4 fire energy, burning train, does 180. We don't typically use that effect, that attack, but it'll pop off sometimes. Sometimes you'll have to use it. You know, you're not seeing the VMAX, so you got to do some damage with the V. The rest of the GX/V line is we run 1 Victini. Every fire player should know what Victini does, as well as a lot of other cards in this deck, but I'll run through it for the new players. Spreading Flames. Attach up to 3 fire energy from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way you like. So it's a real good way to get your Centiscorch VMAX fired up, haha, pun, real quickly. And then it has, for 2 fire energy burn. This attack does 30 damage for each fire energy for each energy attached to both active Pokemon. So if this has the 2 fire energy, it's already going to do 60. If your opponent has 2 more energy, it's going to do 120. Just to throw an example out there. So if they have a lot of energy and you just have the 2, you know, he can come out and he can do real good damage just for his little 2 hit, his little 2 energy. And then spreading flames loads up your Centiscorch VMAX for its big attack as well. Then we play double. Guys, I'm not going to lie to you. We played double for a reason. I built this deck like 2 months ago and been meaning to do a deck profile on it. Been forgetting about it. Finally had time to do it. There was a reason we put this double in. I forgot it. 210 colorless. Ability, Soft Wool. This Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks after applying weakness and resistance. Revenge Blast. This tag does 30 more damage for each prize card your opponent has taken. So I guess it's a good comeback card. You know, if you're at 3, sure, let's say 3. 3 prizes left. They took 3 prizes because you start with 6. You attack with this. It'll do the 120 plus 30 for each prize taken. So they took 3 prizes. It'd be an additional 90. So this would hit for 210. So, you know, he's a fluffy boy. He takes less damage. And late game, he can really be a good hitter. There was another reason I ran this, but I forgot it, guys. I saw this in other lists, actually. I took lists, and a lot of lists was running this. So maybe whatever reason they were running it for is probably the reason I'm running it for. I just forgot that reason. I apologize, guys. I know if I'm doing a deck profile, I need to know what all my cards are in there for. That one just slipped my mind. I meant to do this deck profile like 2 months ago, back when I knew what the list was, when I knew what it did. And then the rest of them, we played one Dedenne for the Did a Change, and we played one Crobat V for the Dark Asset. The Did Change is you discard your hand when you bench it. You discard your hand, draw 6 new cards. So if I have a couple of energies and other useless cards on my hand, I'll do this, pitch the hand, draw 6 new cards, and then I could always, the energy that I discard with it, I can always load up the VMAX with it later. Crobat, similar to the Dedenne, but a little different than the same. You play this from your hand to your bench. You may draw till you have 6. So this one pitches hand, draws 6 new cards. This one draws up to 6. So if you have, this is your last card in hand, you draw 6 new cards. I mean, if this is your last card in hand, you draw 6 new cards. But let's say you have 4 cards in hand with this. You play it, now you have 3. You draw up to 6, so you draw 3. If you have 3 cards in hand with this, you play it, now you have 3. You'll pitch your 3, and you'll draw 6 new cards. So it's you draw 6 cards up to, but so it's similar but different. It's just hand advantage. Everybody plays the Dennes and Crobats. Moving on to our one prizers, if we need to deal damage with one prizers, and also load up fire energy. We got our Volcanion. He's a basic, not V. He's just a one prizer. That's why we call him one prizers. Flare Starter. You search your deck for a fire energy attached to one of your Pokemon. If you're going second and this is your first turn, instead you may search up to 3 fire energies and attach them. So this is a really good going second deck, especially if you have this in hand. And then if we need a one prizer to put in some damage, we got High Heat Blast. If you have at least 4 energy in play, so that's, let's say you have 4 energy. I know it's a Crobat, but let's just say for example's sake, you have 2 fire energy here, and you got 2 fire energy here. This effect will proc. So you just have to have the 4 energy anywhere in play on your field. If you have at least 4 energy in play, this attack does 60 more damage. So it'll do 110. Real nice to kind of have against steel decks, if they're not playing coding energy, to kind of preserve your prizing. And then again, turn 1 or 2, hopefully 2, this loads up your fire energy to your Pokemon as quickly as you can. Fire pops off real quick. It has a lot of good cards for value. We played 2 Giant Hearth. Giant Hearth says once during each player's turn, so your opponent can use it too. Going against fire decks, we tend to not play this. We'll usually let them play the Hearth, because most fire decks play Hearth. But once during each player's turn, that player may discard a card from their hand and search their deck for up to 2 fire energies, reveal them, and add them to their hand. So, if you're not seeing energies, you see this, you go get energies. You ain't got it, go get it. You ain't got it, go get it. Then we play 4 switches. Moving cards around from bench to active is really good. This does it for free. Switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. Real simple. Next, we play Pokecom at 3. Reveal a Pokemon from your hand, put it into your deck. Search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, put it into your hand. So we can reveal, if we got a Centiscorch V and we're looking for a VMAX, and we got a Volcanion that we don't need. Let's say we got the Centiscorch V. He's got 2 fire energy already loaded up on him. We don't need a Volcanion in hand to really, we don't need to load anything up. Or I have a Dubwool that I don't need right now. I'll put the Dubwool back in the deck and I'll grab the VMAX. Or if I need to filter out hand or get hand advantage, I'll put in something I don't need and go grab a Crobat or a Dindinay, you know. So Poke Communication at 3, basically just for consistency's sakes. Next, we play only 3 Quick Ball. You may only play this card if you discard another card from your hand. So you play it, discard 1. Search your deck for a basic Pokemon and reveal it. So this adds your Crobat, your Dindinay, your Centiscorch V, your Victini, Volcanion. It grabs everything but the VMAX Centiscorch. So if you ain't got it, go get it. There's a lot of cards that say that. 2 Pokegears. We're searching for Welder in here. Or Boss's Orders if we're trying to pull something out for a big hit for game winning. Or if we're trying to look for any supporter, really. You know, play this card, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, reveal a supporter you find there, add it to your hand. Most of the time, we're looking for a Welder with this. But sometimes you need the Boss's Orders to just swap something out and push for game with a big Centiscorch hit. Then we play 1 Fire Crystal. Put 3 Fire Energies from your discard pile back to your hand. So I tend to not really run this card because I kind of want energy in there for the Centiscorch VMAX, Centinferno VMAX attack. But sometimes, you know, I gotta see energy now, and I'll just load it up. I'll load it up later. I'll load up Centiscorch later. I just need my energy now. And I've pitched it. Let's say I pitched it for Dindinay. Put 3 fire energy from my discard pile to my hand. That helps us get back to it. So then we're playing fire, so we play 4 Welder. Welder says attach up to 2 fire energy from your hand to a Pokemon, to one of your Pokemon. If you do, draw 3 cards. That's just if you add any. If you add 1 fire energy, you can still do the draw 3. You just have to attach a fire energy to a Pokemon. And then you get to draw 3 cards. So you load up your fire Pokemon quicker by your initial turn energy attached, and then you play this to attach 2 more. You know, you can get Centiscorch VMAX fired up, again, pun, in 1 turn with this card, you know? And then you get to draw 3 cards after it. So you play in a fire deck, you're running pretty much you're running 4 Welder if you're playing a fire deck. Then we got, of course, our Marnies. Play 3 Barneys. 4 is a little too much. 3 I think is just fine. Each player shuffles their hand, puts it on the bottom of their deck. If either player put any cards from the bottom of their deck this way, you draw 5, your opponent draws 4. So that's, you know, if they got a 10 card hand and you're like, whoa, slow down, a little too much, slow down there. Play Marnie, you get 5 new cards and they get 4 new cards. They go from 10 cards to 4 cards. So it's kind of hand destruction in a sense. Then we play 3 Professor's Research. Professor's Research, real straightforward. 1 line of text. Discard your hand, draw 7 cards. You know, if you got a dead hand, or if this is the last card in your hand, you play it, you're drawing 7 new cards, you know. So this kind of helps consistency. You know, Marnie helps consistency. Welder helps consistency a little bit too. This deck is very consistent, let me tell you. And then we got 2 Boss's Orders. Why 2? Why not 3? Why not 4? Don't think we really need it. There's we play Cynthia and Caitlin in here, so I mean, if we really need to see another Boss's Orders, we'll grab another Boss's Orders from the drop area. But I feel like 2 does fine with this deck. If I really wanted it at 3, I would probably honestly take out a Dusk Ball for this to put it to 3. I probably really wouldn't play it at, more than 3, to be totally honest with you guys. I run 2. 2 does me fine right now. And then we play 1 ofs. We play 1 Malolana, 1 Green's Exploration, and then 1 of the Cynthia and Caitlin. Mallow and Lana switch one of your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. When you play this card, you may discard 2 other cards from your hand. If you do, heal 120 damage for the Pokemon you just moved to the bench. Green's Exploration, you can only play this card if you have no Pokemon with abilities in play. So you can't play Green's Exploration if you have Dubwool in play. Remember that. So you search your deck for up to 2 trainer cards, reveal them, put them in your hand, shuffle your deck. 2 trainer cards, so you can grab items, you can grab stadiums, you can grab supporters, anything with trainer. If we need to see Hearth, we'll grab Hearth. If we need to see Welder, we'll grab Welder. If we need to see Dust Ball. Boss's Orders. Anything. It grabs any 2 trainers from the deck. So, ain't got it, go get it. Cynthia. Put a supporter card from your discard pile to your hand. You can't choose Cynthia or Caitlyn for a card you discarded with the effects of this card. So this is our, we play 1/ofs of these. If we need to see this, we'll grab it. See that, we'll grab it. I mentioned we only run 2 Boss's Orders, so if we need the Boss's Orders in here and we need it, we get it with that. Also, secondary effect, when you play this card, you may discard another card from your hand to draw 3 cards. So again, draw advantage. A lot of draw advantage, a lot of consistency with this deck. We play only. You're probably thinking, why not 4? Only run Heat Energy at 3. You can't attach Heat Energy with Welder. That's kind of the reason I only play 3. But it is a good card. As long as it's attached to a Pokemon, it pervades a fire energy. And if it's attached to a fire Pokemon, that Pokemon gets an additional 20 HP. So, you stuff 3 of these bad boys on a Centiscorch, he becomes a, let's see, 20, that's 60, 380. He becomes a 380. Now, naturally, it's kind of far-fetched to have 3 of them on him, but, you'll usually put 1. And also, you can't grab this with his effect. It has to be a basic fire energy. Because it only counts as a fire energy when it's attached to a Pokemon. So that's really why I play 3. I felt like 4 was a little too much. Sometimes I need to see basic energies for your Welder, for your Centiscorch effect. So I only play 3 heat energies because of that. And then we play, let's see, 5, 10, 12 fire energies. Welder, Hearth helps us get to them. Welder helps us attach them. Centiscorch VMAX and Fire Crystal helps us get them back. So I feel like 12 is a decent count for that. I feel like 13 and any more than 13, I might do 13. Any more than 13, you'd see it too much. Any less than 12, you probably won't see it enough. So I kind of just run it at 12. And that's Centiscorch VMAX, guys. A very fun deck to play. It's not retardedly stupid to play against like ADP is, which I also have an ADP deck, but every ADP deck is pretty much the same. Real quick, I'll kind of just fan it out for you. Every ADP deck is pretty much the same. So I'm not gonna do a deck profile on that. I wanted to do Centiscorch because it was the more interesting deck build. I'll probably do Toxtricity Mill in the next coming days too, because I know somebody really wanted to see that deck list, and it's a really fun deck list. I love Mill. It's my favorite thing to do in every game. I know it's a toxic strategy, but I enjoy it. That's one of the reasons that the old Dragon Ball Super card game. Let me get the deck real quick. The old Dragon Ball Pansy game. That's why it's one of my favorite games, because one of the win cons is everybody's win con is to mill your opponent out, because your deck is your life in that game. So, there's 3 ways to win in that game, but I'm not going to go over them. This is a Pokemon profile. But milling is just one of my favorites. So I'll probably do a Toxtricity Mill deck list next time. Not doing ADP. Everybody knows what ADP does. Everybody knows it's good. Everybody's tired of it. Most lists are the same. So, all right. Later.